So again, my name is Adrian Kennedy, and the title of my talk is Why Education is the Key to the Growth of Web3. And during this talk, I'm going to be explaining what Web3 is, why it's important, and how the internet is changing today, and hopefully how you can take advantage of the opportunities that it's going to present over the next few decades as technology shifts from Web 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0. And really what we've been seeing recently is how the adoption of cryptocurrencies and payments has changed e-commerce for the better. And about myself, I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Mentors Collective, which is an NFT collective where we help people get onboarded to Web3, cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance, etc. And my background is finance and technology. Previously, I worked in artificial intelligence for Oak Ridge National Labs, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and some government and government contractors. Co-founded an asset management company that specializes in Forex and commodities. I've traded professionally in equities, and I'm currently a full stack Web 2, Web 3 developer, AWS certs and all of that stuff, writing smart contracts and things like that on the blockchain. And I previously lived in Australia, Vietnam, and Germany. And no, I was not in the military. I just kind of like to do what I want. So yeah. And then you can follow me. I'm on Twitter, GitHub, etc. A/K is what I go by. And I'm gonna go to the next screen if this works. And I'm going to wait. Okay, here we go. And about my company, again, what we do is we onboard companies, individuals, and businesses, and in rare occasions, municipalities, county government, state government into Web3, helping them introduce it to their overall educational models and things like that. And we also build technology. And so what is Web3? And so what Web3 is, 3.0 is read, write, and trust. It's very decentralized and it's very individual focused. And this is a major change from what we see today in the terms of, you look at things like Facebook, Google, etc. It's based on community, but it's very centralized where people don't really own their data. They don't own their information. There's a lot of gatekeepers, etc. as far as commerce and communication. And then what it originally was in the beginning of the web was very read-only. It was decentralized, but it was company focused in the terms of like Netflix, not Netflix, but Netscape, etc. in terms of web really owning all the data and nobody could read it. It wasn't community focused, etc. And what we've been seeing is a massive growth trend in Web3. And at this point, Web3 is sitting at about, I'd say $2 to $3 trillion, just Web3 alone. But as that grows over time, as more people adopt it, the opportunity and why education is important is that it allows people to benefit from that opportunity and be ahead of generational trends. And so if you look at yourself today, you may not have been born in a world where Bitcoin and cryptocurrency even existed. But if you look at younger generations, what we find is that these people and kids have grown up in a world where cryptocurrency exists. And so over time, as they learn, go through high school, college, get jobs, etc., it's going to be weird for them almost to not own any cryptocurrency. And so when you think about the fact that it's a limited supply asset, what you're really counting on is for the adoption to grow over time between companies, individuals, etc. And then economically, you can look at the fact that we experience inflation. And so as they're printing more dollars every single year, inflation is going to also drive the increase in value of the Web3 market, crypto, NFTs, etc. And how big could the Web3 get? And so right now, Web3 is about 2% of global capital markets, which stand at about $105 trillion. And so that 2% puts crypto, NFTs, and Web3 right at about $2 to $3 trillion today. And what that can do in the next 10 years is grow from 2% of global capital markets to 10%. And that would end up resulting in over a 300% growth rate And understand too that growth rate is a very low estimation on my part. In the last 2 years, the growth rate of Web3 has been about 2,700% every single year, as far as the growth in the overall size, adoption as far as individuals, et cetera. To put those numbers in perspective, in DeFi, which is decentralized finance, they saw the value of the overall market grow from 400 million in the beginning of 2021 to grow over to 16 billion by the end of the year. And then as far as users, they saw it grow from about 13,000 to about 2 million by the end of 2021. So the growth rates are very phenomenal, and if that pace increases and grows, the generational trend and opportunity that you can take advantage of as far as learning, education, learning new skills, et cetera, is going to put you in the path of growth for the overall economy as far as Web3 is concerned. And why is education important? When you think about education in the terms of overall adoption of technology, it's important because it increases user adoption. If you look at why we're here today, 10 years ago, the number of technologies was a fraction of what it is today. When you look at AWS, the ability of you to be able to start a company and build products yourself. Previously, during the original startup boom back in the 2000, 2001, et cetera, that saw like pets.com be created, Amazon, et cetera, these companies built technology that it would take hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to build back then. But today you can go and download JavaScript, get an AWS cloud account or Google cloud account for free and build technology and have a product out there and compete with other companies that are previously just massive. And so that's the opportunity that educational adoption presents. And then too, the biggest thing that education does is it expands economic opportunity, and both for people and for businesses. And that's a lot of reasons why we're here today, is because by learning about the new technologies, learning about the new businesses that are growing in the space, networking with people, you expand the overall opportunity that you're gonna have going forward. And that as a result, that increases people's economic mobility. The ability to earn more, help their family earn more, increase generational wealth and things like that, and then also increase your overall financial independence by owning that information and those skills that allow you to, in general, just increase your economic value for the long term. And that's the why education is important, especially when it comes to Web3, because you're hitting all of those levers. And so where is Web3 adoption today? Today, Web3 adoption is in this very, very early phase that includes the innovators and the early adopters. Because right now in the world and globe, et cetera, only about 2.5% of the market is using it. And so even though Bitcoin has been around since 2009, the adoption is just not there yet fully in terms of the overall use cases and the size of the Web3 market. And the reason why it's at that 2.5% is the same reason why Bitcoin and Web3 and et cetera are only about 2% of global capital markets. And so, as I said before, as more companies like Shopify come out with supporting Web3, Coinbase comes out, and JP Morgan is talking about having their own coin internally, and banks are starting to come on board, and regulators are starting to be more okay with adoption. This is going to be more and more important over time, because you get to ride that wave and allow everybody else that may not be as quick to adopt this newer technology be able to learn. And to put those earnings in perspective, today a Solidity developer, even in this down cryptocurrency market, can expect to make between 300,000 to 400,000 base. And then with any perks, investing and things like that, usually between 600,000 to 700,000 as far as their income earnings. Rust developers on Solana are making between $500 to $1,000 an hour. The adoption as far as in this space and the ability to earn is massive, because you get to ride that trend of adoption going forward. And how can you seize this opportunity? learn about Web3 technology, like, attending talks like this, YouTube videos. I call it YouTube University because I learn a lot of information there. Talking to people in the space and looking through different projects. Also, just networking with the people in the projects in the space. Follow the companies and the innovators as well. Looking at, people have different emotions about NFTs and OpenSea and things like that, and selling monkey pictures on the internet apparently allows you to buy houses now. But at the same time, what a lot of people are missing is that the reason why these things are gaining in value is because it's new technology, and it's being driven usually by artists that are very quick early adopters. If we look at even music, for example, music and artist adopters usually drive a lot of trends and innovations, and when you combine early adopters with artists and things that people are passionate about, that wave gets even stronger because people put money into things that they care about. And also, the other way that you can find opportunities is get paid to learn. And so one model that I suggest people that say, how can I learn more about it? Go and get paid to, be somebody's personal assistant part-time, like doing 2 or 3 hours a week, or go and join a project and say, I just want to see what you do on a daily basis to learn more about the space. I mean, there are a lot of people that are in the space, especially when you have early adopters and innovators in the space that are willing to teach to help you get on board, because that grows the overall ecosystem. And as far as my talk, that's everything. If you ever want to get in touch with me, my email address is there. My number is there. I probably should have deleted that. But also the website for the mentors is there. And I'll be around. I guess now that you guys have my number, I guess you can probably text me. And I'm not going to open any links, though, so don't send me any links. And yeah, that's my talk. Thank you for your time.